arrive precisely on time. Most interesting. I've never met someone who treats punctuality like a mathematical theorem. Adrian Veidt, a man who saved the world by destroying part of it. How refreshingly honest of you to accept this invitation. Most gods prefer to work through intermediaries.
Your Majesty commands respect even in informal settings. The leper king who made weakness into strength, mortality into legend. I confess, meeting you feels like encountering my own reflection, someone who sacrificed everything personal for something larger, though our methods differ considerably.
Sacrifice comes naturally when your body reminds you daily that nothing lasts forever. Every morning I wake to fresh decay, yet somehow the kingdom endures. You chose your sacrifices from a position of strength, wealth, comfort, even sanity. Mine were chosen for me by disease and circumstance, which feels heavier.
Chosen sacrifices carry greater weight because they involve deliberate moral compromise. Your suffering was imposed by biology. Mine was self-inflicted through necessity. You maintained honor while losing flesh. I abandoned honor to preserve flesh, not mine, but humanity's disease is honest. Deception requires constant energy.
Deception exhausts the soul faster than any plague. I rule through truth about our desperate situation, our dwindling resources, our powerful enemies. My knights follow me, knowing death awaits most of them. Your followers obey, believing in lies that make obedience easier. Which approach builds stronger loyalty?
Strong loyalty to a doomed cause serves individual conscience better than weak loyalty to a successful outcome. Your knights died nobly for Jerusalem, while my collaborators lived ignobly for Earth. Noble death inspires poetry. Ignoble survival enables civilization. I chose practical results over personal reputation.
Personal reputation matters because it determines what survives after we're gone. My knights died believing their sacrifice served something holy, something worth the price they paid. Your collaborators live knowing they participated in mass murder disguised as salvation. Which legacy inspires future generations to greatness?
Future generations won't exist to judge legacies if present generation destroys itself through nuclear war. My collaborators' guilt serves as insurance against repeating such drastic measures. Your knight's inspiration created centuries of religious warfare that accomplished nothing except more corpses. Inspiration without direction becomes fanaticism.
Fanaticism at least preserves human dignity. The belief that some things matter more than survival. You've taught humanity that survival justifies any atrocity, that fear trumps conscience, that intelligence excuses moral cowardice. What happens when someone smarter than you decides humanity needs additional correction?
Someone smarter would recognize that my intervention was singular response to singular crisis. Nuclear proliferation created unprecedented threat, requiring unprecedented solution. Future challenges will demand different approaches. Your concern assumes intelligence automatically breeds megalomania rather than responsibility.
Intelligence combined with isolation breeds exactly that. You solved humanity's problems without consulting humanity. Like a physician amputating limbs while the patient sleeps. I govern through counsel, debate, constant negotiation with people who hate my decisions but understand their necessity. Democracy is messy, but it prevents monster-making.
Democracy prevented nothing during 40 years of nuclear escalation. Elected leaders brought the world to brink of annihilation through tribal thinking disguised as national interest. My isolation provided clarity that democratic noise obscures. Sometimes the patient requires surgery while unconscious because consciousness would cause fatal movement during delicate procedures.
Surgery performed without consent isn't medicine, it's assault. You've confused competence with authority, intelligence with wisdom. My crown gives me power over subjects who can challenge my decisions, demand explanations, even rebel if I fail them. Your authority comes from secrets that would destroy you if revealed. Who serves whom?
I serve humanity's future while enduring humanity's present hatred. Your subjects serve their own immediate interests while believing they serve higher purposes. Both arrangements function because participants don't fully understand the mechanics. The difference is scale. Your deceptions affect thousands, mine affect billions.
Scale doesn't transform evil into good, it just makes evil more efficient. You've built peace on foundation of corpses while calling it architecture. My wars kill soldiers who chose their fate. Your peace killed civilians who never knew they were in danger. Which approach respects human dignity?
Human dignity becomes a meaningless concept when humans cease to exist. My civilians died quickly, unknowingly, while preventing millions from dying slowly, agonizingly, in nuclear winter. Your soldiers died knowing their fate because the stakes allowed such luxury. Global extinction permits no such consideration for individual preference.
Global extinction was possibility, not certainty. You treated it as foregone conclusion because treating it as solvable problem would have required patience, compromise, faith in human capacity for growth. Your solution eliminated the problem by eliminating the people who might have solved it differently.
Human capacity for growth operates on evolutionary timescales, while nuclear weapons operate on political timescales. The gap between human wisdom and human destructive capability was widening daily. My intervention bought time for wisdom to catch up with technology, if such catching up remains possible.
Time bought with blood doesn't teach wisdom. It teaches that blood purchases solutions. You've established precedent that sufficiently intelligent individuals can override human choice when they deem it necessary. That's not salvation. That's the death of free will disguised as public health policy.
Free will that exercises itself towards species suicide isn't worth preserving. My intervention was vaccination against collective insanity, not permanent governance. Once immunity develops, the treatment becomes unnecessary. Your attachment to free will ignores that freedom includes freedom to choose extinction.
Freedom to choose extinction also includes freedom to choose survival through cooperation, growth, learned wisdom from survived mistakes. You denied humanity the chance to prove itself capable of better choices because you couldn't tolerate the risk of being wrong about their capabilities. That's not love of humanity. That's fear of human unpredictability.
Unpredictability in nuclear-armed civilizations represents intolerable risk. My fear of human unpredictability was empirically justified by decades of escalating brinkmanship that consistently moved toward catastrophic outcomes. Love of humanity requires preventing humanity from destroying itself, even if prevention requires methods humanity would reject if consulted.